Introducing the Mag Shroomz jig heads from Z-Man. These jig heads have proven to be very good, particularly for our new Power Prawn USA lures. So this combination is now my all-time favorite for fishing a deeper water when I'm fishing docks or I'm bouncing down, a trough or even just in a channel, an inlet. This combination is amazing, and the reason why, I'll say a couple reasons why. The two core reasons. Number one is I really like the fact that it has a flat head. What that does is it enables the lure to actually stand up on its head, on its head when it hits the bottom. And so for a shrimp lure in particular, that's really, really powerful, because now that lure can sit on the bottom, the tail will be waving up with the current. It'll just attract more attention, which means it'll attract more strikes. Number two, I really like the fact that it has this unique keeper. And you can see here, it's basically just a thin wire that's welded to the shank of the hook. At first, I didn't really think it would be very effective. Never really knew much about it, never really tried a jig head like this. And as soon as I used it, I've just been blown away. And it's actually made for Z-Man material, but what I found is that this material we use for the Power Prawn USAs, it works great for that as well, because it just does minimal damage. These are made out of traditional plastisol. It's a very strong plastisol though, but any kind of plastisol can get torn. And so the fact that this is just so thin and so small, it doesn't do much tearing at all. And then it actually holds incredibly well. I've been dock fishing with this a lot. I do a lot of dock fishing where I'm skipping up under the docks. It's a lot of abuse for the lure. It's a lot of friction on the lure, and it's a lot of friction that can in some cases tear lures apart. But this combination really has been powerful, and even though I'm skipping a ton throughout the day, it'll hold up the entire time through abuse of skipping as well as fish catching. So as far as sizes go, we have all four of their sizes we carry. Every one will cover a different depth range, and I'll put details below as far as how to pair each one of these for these Power Prawn USAs. Again, awesome combination, and very, very important is to be able to control the depth. That is crucial. A lot of people make that mistake. So if you're going to be using a lot of Power Prawn USAs and bouncing on the bottoms in deeper water, then this would be a very good bet. If you're going to be fishing the shallow water a lot more frequently, then I would recommend the Haas Helix hook. Right, this is going to enable you to be weedless while still having a good hookup ratio. Where these come into play is that they just sink a lot faster and help the lure get down more efficiently when fishing deeper water. So that being said, let me show you how to rig it. It's all pretty simple. So we get the Power Prawn USA, and what we want to do, the ultimate goal, is to get this lure on this jig head in a way in which the lure doesn't get compromised. The lure doesn't lose its shape. You can see this is nice and straight looking this way, nice and straight looking vertical, and we want to keep it that way. If we rig it and there ends up being a big old kink like this, it's not going to look good in the water, right? So very, very important is to pay attention when you're rigging. The good news is that after just a little bit of practice, it's actually very easy. So what we want to do is we want to start in the middle of the lure with the hook point. And what we do is I like holding it just like this, where I have the hook point going towards the left, and I have the cavity, the underbelly cavity going to the left as well. So we want this hook to go out the top of the lure. So start with the hook going towards the left and the underbelly going towards the left, then go through the middle of the lure. Just make sure that it's dead middle. That doesn't have to be perfect, but the closer you can get, the better off it'll be. And then what I like to do is just kind of slowly kind of shimmy it down. All right, we just want to pay special attention to be going down the center of the lure on both axes, right? So when I'm looking down, when I'm feeling it on this side, we're in the center, and then when I'm looking at it or feeling it this way, we're in the center. So go down both axes, and what we want to do is keep on going, and you can actually start feeling it again after just a little bit of practice. And then we're going to pop it out the top. We want to come out right the center, and then we are going to stretch it on up, and there we are. Again, this is a really, really good setup here. Solid setup. We can see there's no kinks. All right, nice and straight. Nice and straight. If it's just a little bit off, like so right here, there's actually just a slight, you can see a slight little bend. It's just not perfectly straight. And so instead of re-rigging it, you can actually just put a little bit of pressure, and what that'll do is that'll straighten it out. So I'm just going to put a little bit of pressure on any of the bulges. And there we are. Now we have a perfectly straight lure. This thing is good to go. And what's going to happen when we're jigging this lure on the bottom, we're going to jig it, right? It looks like a scared shrimp. Then it's going to slide down, and when it hits the bottom, it's going to stay just like that. It's going to stay upright. That tail is going to be waving at those redfish and snook and trout, waving for attention, and come up and just get pummeled by those predator fish. So again, awesome setup. Just wanted to show how to rig it, and just wanted to highlight these jig heads because so far these have been my favorite jig heads that I found for using shrimp lures. And so if you are going to be using shrimp lures, highly recommend giving them a shot. And again, get multiple sizes because depth control is crucial. So if you're fishing a lot of water and the say like deeper docks, like 10 feet or more, then go with this heaviest one. And then if you're fishing super shallow water a lot, go with the weedless, the Haas hooks that I mentioned, or the 1/8, the smallest one, and then get the middles for in between as well. Again, I'll put a chart down below to help put a little bit of more granularity in there. Well, thanks so much for watching. Next step is to go ahead and put these in your cart. Again, get the variety of sizes that you think you'll be needing for your fishing needs. And if you don't yet have these Power Prawn USAs, make sure to pick these up as well. This combination right here has been the best shrimp lure that I found for fishing, docks and deeper situations where you need to get that lure on the bottom. This has been incredibly effective, and so highly recommend giving it a shot. So out of your cart, can't wait to see some awesome fish you catch with these great lures.